One of the interesting things when you're doing Let's Plays, I think, is finding new material to work with. Not to say that there is a lack of resources that you have at your disposal. Quite the opposite. There's more games than anybody could ever play through in their entire lifetime. And I actually know somebody, and one of his goals, I don't know, I don't think it's very realistic, but you know what? Whatever. It's a goal of his, is to play every single game that's ever been made. And at first I kind of thought, that's not possible. But he did say play. He never said finish. So I don't know if that's going so far as to just boot it up and go like, all right, I'm at the start menu, good enough. Or if he's actually going to give it a couple of minutes, go, all right, this isn't bad, drop it and move on. If it's to beat every game in existence, I don't think you could have much of a personal life if that was your goal. It would be games nonstop and nothing else. In which case, I would say absolutely do a Let's Play channel because, my God, if that's all you're going to be doing, you might as well at least share it with some other people, right? You're going to be stuck in a room till the end of your days. But I'm getting away from the point, as I often do with Let's Plays when it comes to content and material. Excuse me. Is it okay to go over a game that you've already played? Not one that you've recorded for Let's Play, but one that you've played a couple times. Actually, no, maybe even just once. You've beaten it. You know the game. There's not going to be any surprises for you in terms of twists, character revelations, plot. You know all of that. Or at the very least, you've experienced it. Even if you don't remember all the fine points, this is a song and dance you've done before. You're not unfamiliar with the sequence. Is it okay to do a Let's Play that? And I think the answer is yes, because, and this was something that actually came to me while I was just having my coffee this morning, which I still got. But it's kind of like a TV show, or at least the way TV shows used to be. More and more now, especially with Netflix, you've got a situation where you're not waiting every week to see the new episode of your show. There are, of course, exceptions, because, cable companies haven't gone away. You've still got shows like HBO and, HBO. That is the company. The show is Game of Thrones. There we go. AMC's got The Walking Dead. You've got a bunch of different shows that are episodic and come out on a weekly basis, and it forces you to wait. But when you look at streaming services, an entire series is at your fingertips the moment it launches, with few exceptions, and you can watch it all at once if you feel so inclined. I think as time goes on, that's going to be more and more the case, and you're going to see less sort of things that are episodic and more just, it's been produced, it's out, here you go, watch it all at once, or pace yourself, we don't care. And Let's Play videos are very much in the vein of the traditional sense of episodic content. Now, maybe you're not waiting an entire week to get the new episode, but you do have to wait a day at the very least. Depending on who you're watching, sometimes they'll either be doing one consistent game all the way through, or they'll be hopscotching between a couple different ones. So, I don't know, maybe you're watching a Destiny Let's Play on Monday, but this guy or girl only uploads the next episode of that Destiny Let's Play on the next Monday. So you have to wait an entire week to see that episode. And if it's going long, you may have 52 episodes strung out over the course of a year. And I think that's kind of the interesting point, that if it's something brand new to you, and certainly if it's something brand new to whoever's playing the game, you're taking this journey along with them, seeing all these things for the first time, experiencing all these things as they are at that moment. And I've heard this description before, and I think it's pretty apt, where it's kind of like you're sitting on the couch with a buddy watching them play this game and just going like, oh man, what's going to happen next? Except it would be like if then that friend just went like, hey, we've been playing this game for like 20 minutes. Why don't we call it a night and pick it up again in a week? Which would be super friggin' annoying, especially if it's a co-op. But anyway, apart from that, what if it's a game you've already played? What if it's a game that you've played a couple of times that you know really well? Maybe it's your favorite game of all time and you just want to share that experience with everybody else. I still think there's some value in that for the exact same reason, because there's an authenticity, of course, when someone's playing it for the first time. Their reactions are genuine. They're not forced. They're not trying necessarily to be funny or over the top. If they react in a very outlandish way, chances are that's very genuine because they're seeing something that they've never seen before and they're reacting to it. Whereas if it's someone who has seen it before, they're not going to react that way. And if they are, they're probably forcing it, but hey, you never know. Maybe that is the genuine reaction every time to that specific scene, that specific character, that specific incident within the game, whatever. But that doesn't mean the audience has seen this game before. And so I think there is an interesting dimension to consider when you've got an audience who's watching you play a game they've never seen before, and you've played through, let's say, a couple of times to the point that you know this game like the back of your hand. You still enjoy the hell out of it, and you're still going to you're not an ace at it. You're going to stumble and fall and get beaten by the boss or screw up at a puzzle or mess up a button sequence or something. But they're seeing all of this for the first time. And because you've been through it before, you've got the added benefit of not only reacting to what's going on, but having the presence of mind at certain points where you know what's going to happen to engage in a discussion about the game from a perspective you wouldn't normally have if you were playing this for the very first time. And I think that has some value to the people who are watching you play, because then not only are they experiencing something brand new for them, they're getting the benefit of experience from you because you're offering them a viewpoint they wouldn't have otherwise had. And this came to me when I was actually looking through my game library and going like, there's a couple others I'm thinking of doing. One of them that my eyes scanned across was BioShock. And I really liked the first one. I played the first, I played the second. I never played... Oh, crap. I'm forgetting the name now. It's the one where they're in the sky. I think that was Unlimited. I want to say it was Unlimited. Yeah, that one I never played just because, funny enough, it's like the first two I liked, and Unlimited just really didn't interest me. But you know what? At some point, I may pick it up. But getting back to the point, I was looking at the first BioShock game and remembering how much I enjoyed that one and thinking, you know what? At some point, I may end up doing that one because it was a really fun time for me. And the second one, almost just as much. I know there's some debate as to how good the second game was, but I really liked the story. I thought it was, well, I don't want to spoil anything about it, but I think it was a worthwhile successor to the first one and an interesting viewpoint on what happens after to the City of Rapture. But to circle around to the point, I think playing through a game that you've already done before has its merit. And as with anything, even if the points that I bring up aren't something that you necessarily consider to be enough to justify the let's play of a game that you've already done, if authenticity can still exist in a game you've already played. If a genuine reaction is what you're after, then no, probably not. But if you can create something interesting, regardless of whether or not it's your first time playing it or your 20th time playing it, I think there's still merit in putting that out there. If only because there's a ton of people who are putting out Let's Plays of games that they're playing for the very first time. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Those are some of the best ones. But I think there's a very strong argument to make for games that you've played before. Especially, this will be the final point, especially ones that you love, ones that you have an attachment to, a fond nostalgia for. Maybe it's your favorite game of all time, or the one that really cemented a moment in your childhood when you were growing up, and it sticks out in your mind as the game when you were a kid for you. Those are some great memories attached to that. And sharing that along with a Let's Play, again, that at least a few people who are watching have never seen before, I think that's pretty special. It's very personal, and it adds an interesting layer to something that, otherwise would have just been an initial reaction to something that neither the audience nor the person playing the game had ever experienced before. And to end on that note, I think if it's worthwhile to you, and if you can make it interesting, doesn't matter if you've played the game before or not, it's worth a shot. Anyway, love to hear your comments. If you agree or disagree, or if you have a completely different viewpoint altogether, please leave them in the comments below if you feel so inclined. And until next time, my name's Rye. You guys take care of yourselves.